But you believe in the Bible?
Not really. That Bible can have a certain verse in it. When we go to another Bible, and we looking for the same thing, and it's not right there.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult. You understand? God has enemies. You believe that? David is telling us that there's nations of people that hate God and hate his people. Edom is a so-called white man. These are the same people that say they're Christians. The same people that say they're of God. The same people that say that, oh, we just sin from Jesus. These are not God's people. We said we would serve our enemies, right? So us as a nation of people, are we serving another nation? Is our slavery of God, or did the white man just have a bright idea one day? God sent them against our people, right? He's going to tell you how we're going to serve. All the necessities that we need, we have to go to another nation to get them. Also, it says in the want of all things. That's how much power that God gave them over us. It wasn't because they're so great. God gave them the power to do it. See how we hitting the scoreboard. Praising my God, he the warlord. We'd have had a perfect 10 if we had hit like 4 more. Heard they watching TV, we gon' make them sit calm. So what do you believe in? You believe in God? You have a denomination that you follow?
He come from the heaven with thousands. No, that ain't a lot, that's a legion. 144K on the way and they pledge their allegiance to cremate the heathens.
You believe in God, Christian, Baptist, what? Nothing particular? You just believe in God, right? Alright, that's fair. So, my name's Aaron, by the way. What we come out here to do is to teach our people their nationality. So if you look at this sign here, what is this? Do you know what this is going into? This is the 12 tribes of Israel. Have you heard of that before? Have you read the Bible? Not really? But you believe in the Bible?
Not really, because when I go to certain Bibles, and I don't know, I was just debating with my mentor about that. Like that Bible can have a certain verse in it, and we go to another Bible, and we looking for the same thing, and it's not right there. So that's why I said I don't know what to believe.
Right. You want to know why they do that? It's the same. Flip that sign back over. It's the same reason, because think about it. You have the King James Version Bible, you have the NIV, you have the ESV.
Even when I get to King James, and we be looking for the same thing, it don't have.
It should be the same thing. But there's different versions. That's the thing. They create so many different versions for the purpose of confusing the people, confusing you. Because they might say, for example, go to Jeremiah 14:2. For example, certain verses in the King James Version Bible, this is one of the most accurate versions that we have. One of the most accurate versions. There's things that it says in here. If you go to NIV or ESV, it doesn't say the same thing.
Right.
Can one of y'all find that for me? Okay, read this verse. Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourneth. So Judah is one of the tribes of Israel. That's the same tribe that Christ came from. The so-called American blacks come from this tribe. So it says Judah, the tribe of Judah, is in mourning. Read. And the gates thereof languish. They are black. They are what? They are black. They are what? They are black unto the ground. So what is it talking about here? It says that Judah mourneth, the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground. What is it describing there? It's describing the color of the people. He says the tribe of Judah is black unto the ground. So look at the dirt here. What color is it? It's different shades of brown, right? You're a different shade than me. All different shades, right? So God is saying that his people, this particular tribe, is black unto the ground. Now we read this other version. It's the NIV. Let's see what it says. Jeremiah chapter 14 and verse 2. Judah mourns. Her cities languish. They wail for their land. You see the difference? Read it again. Judah mourns. Her cities languish.
I read in the KJV.
Judah mourneth, and the gates thereof languish. They are black unto the ground.
It says they are black unto the ground here. Now read this again.
Judah mourns.
This is the NIV.
Her cities languish. They wail for the land. You see the difference? Do you see the difference?
They wail for the land.
This one, the NIV, this came after the KJV. It's a whole nother version. New International, what is it?
New
International Translation, right? So this came after, so they put in there, they wail for the land. But here it describes something completely different. So now the meanings of what we read here in Jeremiah 14 and the KJV is completely different in this other version.
Right.
So now if I, as a black man, right, and I read that the tribe of Judah is black, to me that gives me a sense of pride, right? So if I'm looking in the Bible, a lot of times, look at this image down here. You know who that is? Who they say it is? They say it's Jesus, right? Right. The point is that everybody in the Bible, a lot of times in the church, they teach you they're white people, right? They teach you that God's chosen people are white people, right? So when we read Jeremiah 14:2, we read that they're black unto the ground. There's a level of pride. There's a sense of connection we have with the Bible now, right? But when you go and you create another version and you say they wail for the land, it takes away the identity of the people.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So part of that, go to Psalms chapter 83. Part of that is part of the crafty counsel and the deception that the church has set up. Because these churches are not teaching you the right way. In the churches, you can see these images, right? You see them images in church? What about that one on the right? On your left, the far left. You ain't never seen that one before. But who is that?
It looks something like King.
Which one? The black guy. Okay, that's fair. So you realize that King James is a black man, right?
You can tell by the features in the black and white. You can tell from an old
right.
black man.
There's images that show that he's a black man.
Yeah.
And somebody got their Zondervan? Anybody got their Zondervan? Check with them brothers. I want to show you something else, but read this real quick.
The book of Psalms, chapter 83 and verse 2. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So understand, God has enemies. You believe that? God has enemies. There's people that despise God. You think that you believe that? That's what the Bible says. It says he has enemies. Your enemies make a tumult. Go ahead.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people.
So David is telling us that there's nations of people that hate God and hate his people. Right? Now when you talk to Christians nowadays, who would we say God's people are? Would it be everybody? Would it be all that believe on Jesus? Is it a particular nation? Is it the Israelis?
Whoever decides to believe.
It's whoever decides to believe. Okay, let's keep reading. Read.
And consulted against thy hidden ones.
So it says they consult all these nations that hate God's people. And I'm just tell you straight that these are God's people. All these people on this sign here, these are the 12 tribes of Israel, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. And we'll prove it in a second. But he says that all these nations, they hate God's people. And they go against the hidden ones, meaning that their nationality is hidden to them. For example, I ask you, what's your nationality? What are you going to tell me? Black African American, you might tell me Nigerian, West African, whatever it may be, right? You're going to tell me all these different names. But if I ask another brother out here, another sister out here, they're going to tell me something different. But how is it that all of us, we don't all resonate with the same nationality? For example, Black African American. That name that you have, how old? You know how old that is? That title that you have, African American. You know where you got it from?
I don't know where it came from.
You don't know where it came from? Do you know where you got it from? Jesse Jackson. You know Jesse Jackson?
Yeah, I know Jackson. Yeah.
That was in 1987? 1987, right? So how old are you? 21. So 1987 is not too much far from you, right? So how is it that your nationality is only 15 years older than you? Does that make sense?
No.
That wouldn't make sense. You see what I'm saying? So now you go further back. You have Negro, you have colored, you have Afro-American. These are all terms that were given to us when? Either in slavery or after slavery, right? So now you got to ask yourself, the nationality that I have, it can't be of God. Because a man gave it to me in slavery, in chains. Because all African American or Negro or nigger, all these terms just mean black, right? Or for example, some people call themselves Moors. You heard that before? A Moor, right? It just means black. So they have these terms that describe us a particular way, but it doesn't tell us who we come from. You see what I'm saying? For example, you have Caucasians, you have Dutch Caucasian, you have French Caucasian, you have Vietnamese, you have Chinese, you have Korean. It all goes back to a people, a culture, a land, a language, all that, right? Now you look at African American. What does that go back to? I don't know. What do you say? What's your name, by the way?
My name is Uriah.
Uriah? That's a good name, bro. That's a good name. Go ahead.
I don't know what to believe, but like you said, it goes back. all kind of different races, you know. But sometimes I feel like that we're overstepped. As a black man.
What's that? Let me finish real quick, and I got you, all right, bro?
As
Go
a
ahead.
black man, I feel like that they let us down.
Who?
Society.
Who's society?
White man.
The white man let us down? You think he let us down?
No, because we kings at the end of the day. We own, man, we built this.
Okay.
We built this.
But that's you're making good points, and I want to hear what you got to say real quick before we get this. What are you about to say?
Hey, so Mexicans.
We're gonna touch on all of what you say.
Mexicans is if you say everything that's on it's on
Hispanics, yeah. There are people.
So why they keep on trying to make it seem like why they
make it seem like we different?
Yeah.
Oh, that's you saying good things. Now we gonna read it again. So Uriah and Bob, Mr. Bob. Okay, I got you. Read it again.
For lo, thine enemies make a tumult.
So God lets you know that his enemies are making a tumult against him and against his chosen people. Because everybody is not God's people.
Right.
Even though the churches teach you that, everybody is not God's people.
Right.
The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, these are God's people. He said these are the hidden ones that they don't understand who they are. All the information of who they are is being hidden from them. For example, they're talking about critical race theory. Have you heard about that? When they're trying to take slavery out of schools to take away the guilt from the children about what the white man did to us. You heard about that before? They're trying to take slavery out of the school so the little white boys, Timmy and Tom, don't feel so guilty about what their fathers did to us. So they want to take it out of the school system. Now it's not being taught. But understand, your history is what links you back to the Bible. They don't want you to get back to it, so keep reading.
And they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So all these nations that hate us and hate God say, let us come together and cut them off from being a nation. So us as a people, are we unified as a nation? Do we know who we are as a nation? Are we unified in anything as a nation? Some of us are Muslim. For example, we already looked at the sign, right? Some of us are Pentecostal, right? Some of us are Catholic. Some of us are Seventh-day Adventists. Some of us are Muslims, right? That's not unified, is it? Because Muslims believe one thing, Christians believe another thing, Baptists believe another thing, Pentecostal believes another thing, Judaism believes another thing. You know what I'm saying? A lot of our brothers walk around saying I'm spiritual. I got the chakra rocks and all these different things, right? That's not unified. So they cut us off from being a nation, and they put all types of confusion within our nation. So now we don't understand who we are. We can't make our way back to God. You're right. Where you going, bro? I got you. You good. Keep reading.
That the name of Israel.
It said the name. It didn't say the name of African American, right? It said the name of who?
That the name of Israel.
That the name of Israel. This is the name that you don't recognize. So if I say you're an Israelite, are you going to understand what I'm saying? You going to understand the customs of Israel? No. So if I say, for example, how we're supposed to deal with women. For example, how we're supposed to deal with women, like if you sleep with a woman, what's supposed to happen? Let's take a guess. If I lay down with a woman, right? Sleep with her, what is supposed to happen after that? I'm not married to her, right? If I sleep with her, what is supposed to happen? You don't know. You're right. Let me ask you a question, bro. Is it black people's custom? Should it be our custom to sleep outside of wedlock? Okay. What holidays did we celebrate prior to getting on them boats? None. What did we celebrate before we got on the boats? Because we got Valentine's Day now, you got 4th of July, you got Easter, you got Christmas, all these different holidays, right? I guarantee you we were not celebrating those before we got on the boats. Sure. Labor Day, isn't that coming up? Memorial Day, which one is it? That's coming up soon. Memorial Day or Labor Day? Memorial Day, right? Were we celebrating that? No. So we got all these different holidays from who? From the white man. So prior to that, what did we celebrate?
They civilized you.
I agree, but what did we celebrate? What's your name, bro?
Keith.
Keith, my name's Aaron. So what did we celebrate prior to hitting them boats?
Life.
See, but this is my point, is that we don't know. So read it again.
That's all I can say.
I get it.
They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation.
So the nations that hate God and hate his people said, let us come together and cut them off from being a nation. Labor Day. So they don't know who they are. So when I ask a question that should be simple, we don't know. And I didn't know at one point. For example, if I ask a Chinese man, if I ask a Vietnamese man, right? If I ask anybody, right? Hey, don't worry about it. This is how they do. Remember, it says, they that hate God and his people. They don't want you to know who you are. They don't want you to wake up. They know that. Understand, remember when you look at Tulsa, look at Black Bottom. They bomb everything that we set up to make sure that we don't rise over them. They're afraid of our people. Right. That's what they are. That's why they deal with us the way they deal with us.
It was the name of our little city we had there, right?
Black Bottom, yeah, it was. It was. And they built a freeway right through it. Read.
That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
So do you recognize that name Israel? Is that your nationality? Are you African American? Are you African American? You African American? That means that you don't recognize the name that God gave you originally.
Right.
The whole purpose of slavery was to take that name from you.
Right.
And they did it successfully. Keep reading.
For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee.
So it says all these nations consulted together, meaning that they all came together and said, you know what? We're going to put things in place to make sure that these people do not wake up. These liquor stores, the weed shops, what else they got out here? The liquor stores, the weeds, the churches are all set up to keep you dumbed down. If I can keep you on drugs, guess what? You're never going to think about who you are. If I can keep you in poverty, struggling to pay your bills, usually when people are struggling to pay their bills or going through poverty, what do? They do things to cope with it, right? Like what? Drink. What else? Drug. So think about it. There's a liquor store right here. I guarantee you there's another one right down the street. They put Coney Islands everywhere, right? All these things are coping mechanisms for our people.
Right.
So they want you to consume it so you can stay in a dumbed down state. Well, you don't understand. That's what they do.
The whole time it's hurting your body and it's putting your body straight.
But you understand, they understand that.
They want us to be like that.
Of course, they understand the power of what they put in our communities. Because do we have the power to set up or tell them to take down this liquor store? Do we have the power to tell them to put better food in our communities? Do we have power to tell them to put better housing in our communities? We don't have that power. We have people in office that do things, but they can only go as far as they let them. You understand? Keep reading.
The tabernacles of Edom.
So now it goes to explain the nations that consulted against our people. It says the tabernacles of Edom. Do y'all know who Edom is? Edom is a so-called white man. Come on! The same man that decided to ring his bell as we're talking about the word of God. These are the same people that say they're Christians. The same people that say they're of God. The same people that say that, we just sin from Jesus. These are not God's people. These are enemies of us, enemies of God. That's who they are. That's why they do these things. Right now, they still lynch our people to this day. Y'all know that, right? They still lynch us to this day. They burn us. They chop our bodies up. They hang, right? They do all these things to our people. Or even the condition of our people today. Now, to a very big degree, we contribute to it, killing each other, things of that nature, right? But they have a hand in pushing it. What's that in Zechariah? They bore the affliction. You got that? For example, right? What type of things plague our communities? We talked about drugs, right? We talked about alcoholism. What else?
115.
That's drugs. Well, specifically, I want you to think about it. What type of problems do we have? What about baby mamas? Is that a problem? You say your name is Keith, right? Keith? That's your name? What would you say? So baby mamas is one, right? What else? Drugs. Mental health. That's another big one that we don't talk about. What else? What about murder? What about theft? What about anger issues? Poverty. All these things, right? These are all problems in our communities. These are all problems in our communities. And these nations, they help forward.
Hey, what's up, bro? You ain't subscribed yet? Look at this guy, man. You ain't right, man. Press the button. Press the button.
Read that real quick.
The book of Zechariah, chapter 1 and verse 15. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease.
The heathen are the other nations that despise God and his people. Read.
For I was but a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction.
So the heathen helped forward the affliction. Go to Judith 5. They understand if I keep these people in oppression and in sin, that God's not going to be dealing with them. That God's not going to deal with them. They understand that. So read this real quick. You got it? Go ahead.
The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 20.
Have you ever wondered, y'all brothers, have y'all ever wondered why Detroit is so ran down? Why we can't never get it right? Why so many bad things happen? Y'all heard about the murder that happened at the Henry Ford the other day? There's a murder up the street about a month ago. A little boy got shot. A 17-year-old got shot. They're both dead. There's many more that happen in between. There's so many things that go on in our city. Dead bodies being found everywhere. Why are these things happening to us? You ever wonder why? Y'all got an answer? Because as men, right? You say you're 21. Keith, how old are you? 29. How old are you? 24. As men, y'all are all grown men. As men, what is our job? To protect and provide solutions. Provide solutions, but first, what must we do? We got to fix ourselves. But in fixing yourself, you got to be able to see the problems in yourself and go fix them in yourself, then fix them in your people. You see what I'm saying? So y'all as men, y'all got to think differently. You shouldn't be worried about the next album coming out, the next football player, basketball player. Don't worry about that stuff. Your people are oppressed right now. You're being oppressed right now. That means that you got to start thinking differently about your people and yourself. Read that.
The book of Judah, chapter 5 and verse 20.
This is going to show us why these things are happening to us on a daily basis. Why these nations set things up the way that they do. Read this.
Now therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people.
Error is going into sin. Other nations understand. If there's any sin within our people, we name some. We name single-parent household that's not unlawful to God. Drugs is unlawful to God. Alcohol is not unlawful, but a lot of times we get drunk. Things happen. Remember they had a pool party recently. Woman got cut. Her whole throat got cut, right? She died. I think it was 2 people that died there, right?
It was 2.
They got stabbed. 2 people got stabbed and they died. And guess, okay, sorry to hear that.
Her name is Martisha.
Okay. So, but understand why some of those things is happening and why they do happen is because we are lacking something. Other nations understand, if I get all these Negroes together with drugs, with alcohol, with lust, all these things involved, not only do they lack self-control, they don't know how to control their emotions, how to have a conversation back and forth, we got a problem with each other. They understand that. They understand we don't, so they push it in our communities through the music, through the media, the movies that we watch. They push it, and that becomes our mentality. So now, this is their thought. Read.
And they sin against their God.
Remember, it said other nations understood back then that if they sin against their God, you understand that God is not for everybody, right? Who is he for? Who's God for?
His people, right?
His people. Who's his people? Who's us? Israelites. The Israelites. That's on point. So he said they sin against their God. Read.
Let us consider that this shall be their ruin.
So the other nations understand if I cause these so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans to sin against their God, that this will be their ruin. I can come in and take over what's going on in their communities. For example, how do you think they were able to come and pick us up off the west coast of Africa? I mean, look at the size of many of the men in slavery, right? They were big men. You know what? See what I'm saying? We don't have solutions or answers to things that don't make sense. You got all these slaves on the plantation. Even bring it up to the day. We are some of the smartest, strongest people on this planet. How are we not able to rise up and fix our communities? Say it again.
I got my license in computer technician and I got my PhD.
That's good. That's good, but that's not enough.
It's not.
And I'm going to show you why. That's not enough. So they understand if we keep them in sin, That's how they'll be overtaken. So the west coast of Africa, when they came and picked us up, it wasn't like, all right, come on, niggas, get on the boat. It wasn't that easy. There was a war, and guess who won? They won. But we were still stronger, we were still superior, but God didn't want it that way. God wanted them to pick us up. Let's get there real quick. Deuteronomy 28. So what we see happening in slavery is the same thing you see happening today. Do y'all believe that God is allowing that to happen, or you think it's just because we're not doing what we're supposed to do? You think we don't have enough resources, or you think God got a hand in this?
We got a hand in it, but yeah, it's like we all make our own choices.
So if God has a hand in it, that means that God's okay with us being in slavery, right?
Everything happens for a reason.
Agreed? What do you say?
I don't feel like God got
No hand in our slavery? The condition that remember, we've been trying to get out of this situation for a long time, for over 400 years, right?
Look, they chose slavery, man. They chose to.
Who did?
The white man.
The white man chose it.
He chose to do that.
Okay,
And
okay.
we're still in slavery right now.
I agree. Well, why can't we free ourselves, Uriah? Why can't we free ourselves? Because we see it's a problem, right? We tried in the 60s. We had MLK, we had Martin Luther King, we had Marcus Garvey, we had all these people, right? That tried. They killed him, but more people came, right?
Can I ask you something?
What's that? I want to finish this point. More people came, right?
Yes.
And what happened? Nothing happened. It died. It died, right? But why? Why?
Because we're strong.
No, we're not. If we were unable to continue what our forefathers were doing to uplift our people, why is it not working? Why are we not changing?
They ain't gonna listen.
Who?
White man.
It's not about the white man. How can you go to a same person that put chains on your neck, beat your women, rip the babies out their bellies, hung us, to this very day still do the same things to us? How can we expect them to save us? Does that make sense? That don't make sense. How can I go to my oppressor to save me? But that's what I'm saying. We vote, we go to the white man saying, give us this, give us reparations. These are the same people that raped, murdered, and robbed our people for generations. And we expect them to save us. That don't make sense.
Big bro.
Go ahead.
Back then, look, back then, I don't know if y'all heard about, I know y'all probably heard about this, but, okay, everything was segregated. You hear me? They had, when you was in the army back then, there was certain shit you couldn't do. Nigga, they only let the white people go to war. But then they like, fuck it. I'm gonna take these slaves, throw them in a war, knowing we don't know how to do shit, cause y'all ain't teaching them nothing. Man, you ain't hear about them. It was about like at least 1,600 slaves.
Right. What's your point
on the boat. Working on the boat, and the boat blew up.
What's your point with that?
No, I'm just saying, there's so many names unaccounted for. They got graves, they got headstones with no name.
You understand that?
And it's not one white
person. The war is not for us.
Hey,
the war is not for us. That's the point. Read this real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 15.
Bring it out.
But it shall come to pass.
So this is Moses speaking to the children of Israel in the wilderness. Go ahead.
If thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe, to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So Moses told the children of Israel, he said, look, if you don't, God made a covenant with you. Either you do what he said or you don't. If you don't do what God says, there's going to be curses that come upon you. Now we're going to read some of those curses to see if they line up with our history today. Read that.
Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So one of the curses that came upon the children of Israel, he says that if you don't listen to me, he's saying that I'm going to send your enemies against you. Read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
So he said we will serve our enemies, right? So us as a nation of people, are we serving another nation? My brother, what's going on? How you doing? What's your name? Jay? Okay, so we're talking about our nationality. We're talking about who we are. The question that we asked was, is our slavery of God, or did the white man just have a bright idea one day? What do you say? Do you think that the white man had a bright idea to say, let's go pick up these Negroes from the west coast of Africa and bring them to America? Or do you think that God had a hand in that? You think God had a hand in it? Because think about it, we've been oppressed for hundreds of years. Slavery was 1611? 1619? 1619, right? 1619 was when we got picked up on the ship. That's what they recorded, right? So that's hundreds of years to 2025. Well, let's just say to 1865. That's when they emancipated slavery, right? So that's hundreds of years in between. So we got to say, did God have a hand in all that? Because we weren't able to free ourselves. They freed us. There was never a time where the black man stood up and said, we're going to free ourselves out of this captivity. The white man, so-called, freed us. He had to give it to us. So we never did anything, right? So we got to ask ourselves, why does he always have his hand on our neck? Is that of God, or is that just of his own fruition? Read that.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So the enemies that God sent against us was the white man when he picked us up from the west coast of Africa. So was that of the white man that he wanted to come over here? He had a bright idea? Or did God send him?
It depends on what they did, right?
Huh?
It depends on if they sinned or not, right?
But they did sin.
But they did. So
they
then,
did.
Then you just said if they sinned, they'll be workers of their enemy.
Right, they would serve their enemies, right?
Yeah.
And that's the point. Read it again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies.
And the point is that all these curses we're reading right now are all ways to identify who God's people are today. Because in church they tell us that God loves everybody. They tell us that the Jewish people over in Israel right now are God's chosen people. But in the Bible, it shows you specifically how you know who God's chosen people are. And these curses, jump to 46, is how we know. Read that.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign.
It's talking about the curses that we've been reading. It says these curses will be upon them for a sign, right? If I want to know what street I'm on, how do I identify what street I'm on? By the sign. If I want to be able to identify a liquor store, how do I know it? By the sign. If I want to know a Wendy's from McDonald's, I got to know it by the sign, right? The same way that God needs to identify his people today is by signs, which are the curses. Read.
And for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So it says upon these curses will be upon them forever. So today, will we be able to see these curses upon these people? Based upon what we're reading?
I mean, it depends on how spiritual you are. Cause I can come over there and touch you, and I can just be like like this. My one female friend I got at the house. Like when she get close to me and hug on me, it's like she's draining me. And it's like it depends on how spiritual you are.
And okay, our people are unable to see it, but the point is, the Bible says that these curses will be upon God's people forever. Meaning that if it's explained to you, it's made plain to you, you're going to understand that, oh, these curses, these fit these people. They don't fit these people over here. You see what I'm saying? So that's how we identify it. Somebody had to explain it to you the right way. Because in church, my grandfather's a pastor. He never explained any of this to me. So read that again.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So this is the curse we're talking about. It says he will send our enemies against us. If God will send our enemies against them, we would serve them. Right? Read.
And hunger.
So for food, if I want something to eat, or if you want something to eat, Bob, where do you go to get food? Wherever you go, right? Do you see your people back there? Do they own them establishments? They own a Coney. They own a Crunchy Chicken. They own the McDonald's. They own the grocery stores. Who owns them? Other nations. You got the white man. You got the Arab man. You got the Chaldean. All these other nations. The Chinese man. We love us some shrimp fried rice, right? We all these things that we go to get food, even food stamps, right? Or WIC. The assistance they give us is given by who? Somebody else. So right now, are we matching this curse? Or is the white man matching this curse? Is the Chinese man matching this curse? Who's matching that? Who does this fit? Is it the people on these sides, or is it somebody else? Read it again. We take it slow. I want to make sure you follow. Hey, Jariah, you got up next.
Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee. Therefore shalt thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So we already know that God's chosen people would serve their enemies if they didn't listen to him. God sent them against our people, right? He's going to tell you how we're going to serve. Read.
And hunger.
So for food, we have to serve our enemies for food, correct? Uriah. We serve our enemies for food, correct? Meaning that we don't own any grocery stores, we don't own any land, any farms, any animals, anything to provide food for ourselves, right? Does the Chinese man own these things to provide food for themselves? Yes. Does the Arab man own these things to provide food for themselves? Yes. Does the white man own these things to provide food for themselves? Yes. Right? Does the Hispanic man own the supplies to provide this food for themselves? No, they do not. Hispanics do not. They are. That's the point. So the Hispanics do not. The African Americans do not. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, none of them own the supplies they need to provide food for themselves, right? So keep reading.
And in thirst.
So when I want something to drink, right? If I want something to drink, I want to go to the liquor store, I want alcohol, I want water, I want anything, right? Do I own those supplies to provide water for my people?
No, not even the main water line.
Not even the main water line, right? They can cut my water off just like that. If I'm
not even a main water line.
You think about it, a lot of our people are in poverty, right? Sometimes you struggle to pay our bills. Guess what? They know this and they still turn your water off. They know you're struggling, they still turn your water off. You in there struggling right now. It should be free. You know there's laws in certain states where if you collect rainwater, you can be fined. Do they own the water that comes from the sky? They should not. Right? But these are the same people that oppress us. Right? Read.
And in nakedness.
The clothing that you're wearing. Y'all people own the textiles, the fabric, the silk, the linen, the cotton. We don't own it. Other nations own these things, right? Read.
And in the want of all things.
So all the necessities that we need, we have to go to another nation to get them. But also it says in the want of all things. Anything that I want. A driver's license, who you going to for that?
You gotta go to the Secretary of State.
Who runs that?
The white man.
If I want to get education, who do I go to? Who decides what your child learns on a daily basis? He owns it, even the HBCU. He decides the curriculum and what black history is told in that school. You understand? That's how much power that God gave them over us. It wasn't because they're so great. God gave them the power to do it. If I want to learn about God, who do I have to go to? Today, if I want to go learn about God, where do we usually go? We go to church, right? But he owns that too, right? What about the degree you have to get as a theologian to become a pastor? Who decides that curriculum? So that means that the same man that put you in slavery, the same man that told you that Christ was white, that God was white, that all his people were white, and that black people were nothing, is the same man that tells you about God. Remember in slavery he said, slaves obey your masters in all things, because it's well-pleasing to God. They taught us that it was of God that we're supposed to serve them. You see what I'm saying? They taught you that you were supposed to love all nations. They taught you that God loves everybody. Because you didn't come up with that on your own, right? That's who taught you that. Read that last part again.
And in the want of all things.
So everything that we want as a nation of people, we have to go to another nation to get it. But what was the reason that God set it up this way? How you doing, my brother? Say it again. Because we sinned. It was because we stay in sin, God keeps the conditions upon us. Go to verse 68. So we talked about slavery. In slavery, we know for a fact that we had to serve them for everything. They provided everything for us. But after we got into slavery, it never changed. Once we tried to provide our own resources like Black Bottom and Tulsa and Rosewood, many other places, what did they do? They came and they destroyed it. Because they never want you to see you get higher than them. Because we had doctors, we had lawyers, we had plumbers, we had all types of businesses. They say, no, y'all can't do that. We had more revenue coming in and staying in our cities than they had. They never want to see you ahead of them. They never want to see it. And you waking up to who you are, it's going to put you ahead of them. That's what it is. Read that.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 68.
Bring it out.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So he said, this is one of the curses. He said, I'm going to bring my people into Egypt again. So the Israelites were in slavery in Egypt. Remember Moses led them through the Red Sea, let my people go, all these different things, right? Y'all familiar with that story? So that was when we were in slavery to Egypt, right? Did we ever go back to Egypt as slaves? Do y'all know? Do y'all know the history at all? If you don't, that's fine. So no, you're right. No, we never did. So it says that we go into slavery, go to Egypt as slaves on ships. Now, if you know any type of geology, right? This is Egypt right here, right? That's where Egypt is. Israel is right there. Do I need a ship to go from here to here? No, right? So that means that they're not talking about Egypt as far as the landmass. It's talking about something else. Read that again.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships.
So now we got to understand, what does Egypt mean? Because we were slaves in Egypt before. Now God is saying we're going to go back into Egypt. We got to understand what Egypt is. So read this.
The book of Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2. I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
What did it call Egypt? Anybody catch it? Read it again.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So what is Egypt called? The house of bondage. The same thing means slavery. Bondage, slavery, the same words, right? So now we go back and we read about it in Deuteronomy.
Deuteronomy chapter 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt.
What is Egypt? The house of bondage or slavery, right? Read.
Again with ships.
So now it makes sense. He says, I'm going to bring you into Egypt or slavery on ships. Y'all see that? He's going to bring us into Egypt on ships. Now we're using this to identify who God's people are today. Did the white man go to slavery on ships? Did the Chinese man go to slavery on ships? Did the Arab man go into slavery on ships? We are the only people that went into slavery as a mass on ships. The blacks, Hispanics, and the Native Americans.
Across the earth, the prophets move. From city streets to distant lands, the message is the same. Israel must rise. Through every quest, every journey, the truth spreads. No border can contain it. No distance can silence it. Our nation lives in every moment. In joy, we celebrate marriages. In sorrow, we honor our dead. On the Sabbath, we gather as one. Families rejoicing together, bound by the commandments of God. Yet are we tried. From the stones in Kenya to the hatred in Montana, we endure as a soldier of the Lord. And still, the mission expands. On the airways, on the screens, in every nation under heaven, Israel's voice is heard. We build our communities. We raise our children in royalty. We restore what was broken. We clean what was defiled. We show the world who we are. This is Israel united in Christ. Nation in motion. Nation endures.